This match brought to you by my girlfriend's banana bread. Making it through the morning so far with that. And here we go. Players are ready and we are going live. And here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 kicking off another week of UTPL. We've got SAS versus Mesa. This is a big one. No matter what happens in this matchup, it's something we'll be revisiting when we look at the seedings and we look at the playoffs. So right now, early on, just a little bit of a split back and forth. Defiance, not an easy map to completely take over. And most teams haven't been trying to do that. We'll back up just a little bit to see what I mean. We'll go over to the 100 armor. So this 100 armor vest, you see Wolverine grabbing the first one. This has been sort of the favored control point for most teams. Most teams have been putting 2.5 to 3 people to control this room. You've got the 100 armor vest down on the dumpsters. Sniper rifle up top there. Damage amp to the left. You've also got a bunch of health vials around this area. Lots of teams have really been putting a heavy emphasis on that section of the map. Across the map, you do have the shield belt. Looks like Mesa Gaming opting to hold out for that specifically. You see Wasty up top with the goo. Only the bio rifle up top there. You do have the shock rifle down below, but there's a bit of a dearth of weapons in this section. You basically have the shock rifle down there and not much else. There is a flak down low, but you can see them having a hard time getting that flak in their hands. You got a little bit of time, so I'll zoom right through it. So you go down from the shield belt, you got jump boots down low, flat cannon, and you have a couple of ways to zoom through mid here to get across the map. We did see the amp up top there just get taken by Wolverine, and this is exactly where SAS wants to be with amp sniper rifle, just picking off spawners. I guess I'd say it's a deceptively small map. It's a fairly complex map, but you can really feel like you're getting boxed in whenever you're respawning without weapons. But it's so important to try to control that sniper area because it's a really open room basically. And so not only do you get access to the weapon, but you get access to the weapon in a room. Oh, back-to-back snipes by Wolf, knocking them off of that belt. They were in position, but Mesa, again, can't wrangle the belt. That's going to be pretty much a split for the armors, and then, of course, the full amp run, and a 10 frag lead already by SAS. Already 1,000 damage for Slay. A big combo hitting both players. So Slay, in typical Slay fashion, he's probably on an island. He's going to play this back area. You see you've got vials there. Smart picking that up. You got I believe that's the stinger that spawns there. That might be a link gun. I'm not sure on this version of the map. I believe it's stinger. So you got 50 armor, stinger. Yeah, and then he's going to circle around. You've got vials, health packs up top there. And of course the shield or the shock rifle. And that's going to be basically his own little map. Like Slay will essentially hold that area and maybe help with power-ups occasionally, but otherwise he's going to be on his own island. And so if Mesa Gaming wants to, they can essentially play 4v3 around the sniper room, or if they want to back up, they can try to knock Slay off his spot. That's probably the way to try to get SAS shuffling their feet, essentially. We'll see what they can do. They're already down 17. SAS continues to be very solid in 4v4. Again, haven't dropped a single map all season long. Still perfect with their points. Wolverine on a rampage now, opening things up highly efficiently. Of course, we saw Slay there with big damage numbers. Already 1,500 damage for Slay. Not even a third of the way into this match. 11-0, so Wolverine has yet to die. Down to 34 HP. We'll stick around with him. Hopefully we don't curse him too bad. Oh, and this could be the end of it if Inceptos... Oh, but if Fragam comes over, and when you see a player go on that kind of a spree, it's usually really speaking to his teammates flanking him, giving him cover, giving him support. Wolverine still staying alive somehow, not churning out a whole lot of kills right there. You do have the amp up. We'll go up and take a look at it. And this is an amp you can steal from below. You can piston from down low. You can use those jump boots we looked at before. Haven't seen that a lot this season, but the rocket launcher is right there. So if you're trying to give, you know, a challenge to this sniper rifle area, especially if that amp is coming up, that's one way to do it, other than just directly running in here. We see a lot of teams kind of just run in and try to bum rush the high ground. Now, the dangerous thing is if you come down to this area, there's not a lot going on with it. You kind of have to sneak around the back end of the map. That's going to take about 5 seconds off the amp without any opportunity to use it. You see them just dropping shots down range. Oh, diving right into Slay with that shock rifle, and Wolverine goes down, or Wolverine takes last down, I should say, from across the room. A little bit of amp bio rifle coming out, nothing too crazy. And what I'm seeing right now is Mesa Gaming getting better at organizing, pushing across the map, taking over this 100 sniper area, but they've never really been able to hold SAS out of it. And SAS, for their part, knows exactly what to do once they do lose control of this room. There's Last with a kill with that sniper rifle. Take a quick look at the scoreboard to see where we're at. Slay continuing to lead in damage. Amp still strongly on the side of SAS. A couple, you know, pretty much a split on belts, and that's basically what Mesa needs to do. I think they're actually looking like they've stabilized a little bit. There was a big lead early on by SAS. Mesa has kind of slowed things down. They've taken control of this 100 armor area. We do have 5 seconds till the amp. If Mesa can control this amp and go on a run, it would be absolutely huge towards making a push. But you can see Wasty now left all alone in this sniper area, and there's Wolverine and Snatch to push him right out. He's got teammates with Enforcer, but that's not really going to do him a lot of good. So Wasty now with an amp, and this is a big amp run here to try to take control of this map. They did successfully knock them out of position temporarily. Oh, there's a big shot on Wolverine. A chance to take out Snatch here. Nice job switching to Lincoln, and actually Incepto's got the kill with the sniper rifle. There's a killing spree there by Wasty. Big shots coming out, and 100 armor is his. Another opportunity to turn out some spawn kills. This is something you can do in this map. You get the team, or the other team on their heels. You can really crank out spawn kills. You tend to spawn in that back area by 50 a lot of times. And so if Mesa can back up now, this is basically what... Oh, a nice job there flanking. Mesa, the last couple minutes, it's definitely, you know, it's still a 20 frag game. But the last minute or two have definitely looked much better than the opening few minutes. We're about halfway through this one. SAS definitely has a big lead, but we're seeing a little bit of a turn here. Mesa's gotten the last couple 100 armors. They've knocked them off of this sniper area. The question is, can they actually maintain some semblance of control? Because as they've done that, SAS just keeps churning out the kills. And it just seems like every time we look at that sniper room, there's a couple of Mesa members chasing out SAS. And then you turn around and you look back and there's one Mesa player fighting against 3 SAS players. So it's a matter of Mesa Gaming getting caught out by themselves. And I think that's really the story here so far, and why we're seeing a 25 frag lead. Despite Mesa actually contesting these 100 armors, and now the amps even pretty well. I mean, it's the second amp in a row they've gotten. Wasty with another big amp run already. An opportunity to put more on the board. I mean, you watch the last couple of minutes here and you say, oh, everywhere you look, Mesa's, you know, looks like they're playing well. They should be closing the gap, but instead we're actually seeing SAS answer right back and actually extend this lead. So on the, you know, after those 2 amp runs, there's a net of +1 basically. I guess pretty much dead even. So despite having 2 amp runs, despite getting I think 300 or 400 armors in a row, during that time SAS still built a lead. And so that gives you an idea of kind of the, you know, kind of the maturity of a team like SAS, to have multiple plans, right? So especially on a map like this, most teams have kind of one strategy, one primary strategy, one goal for how they want to play when they're ahead. And then once you get knocked off of that strategy, whether it's positioning or whatever the case may be, having a backup plan is so critical. And you're seeing SAS right now largely getting knocked off of their primary, I guess, positioning, and still not only staying alive and staying in it, but actually extending their lead. So amp is up in 10 seconds. Again, we've seen Mesa, yeah, and there it is again. Mesa up top, contesting the power-ups very effectively. You do see SAS now down below, and this is where those shock rifles can come into play. Rocket launcher as well. Jump boots are up top, so they can't use those to grab it, but 3 SAS players now storming into this sniper area. They're going to have a 3-on-1 against Inceptos. He goes down. Amp is theirs, and this is the opportunity for SAS now to completely put this one away. You're down to the last 5 minutes. Up by 29 now. And if they can put together any kind of amp run here, that'll pretty much do it. And there you go, again, extending that lead. We've just seen it steadily. They jumped out to an early lead. And then after that, SAS just kind of grinding it out. There hasn't been any crazy, you know, multi-kill amp runs or anything like that. It's just minute to minute. It seems like every minute, SAS gains 1 or 2 points. It's naturally on a killing spree now. I think Fragim might be the only SAS player who hasn't gone on a killing spree this game. Slay now upwards of 4k damage already with a third of the match yet to play. So we'll go on board with him a little bit, get an idea. I'm always curious about players who are kind of playing the back side of the map. You can see him looking for the spawn kills. Like I said, you get a lot of people that respawn over by the stinger area over here. And maybe over there by shock, and if neither weapon is up, you're kind of in a weapon desert for a little bit. See Wolverine picking up the amp. We'll go on board with that. But this is the game. Like I say, Slay basically has his own little DM map that he's just been playing and cranking out the damage on. Oh, Last picks up the amp. He goes down. Snatch picks it up. He goes down. Kuzki with the amp in his hands. 10 seconds left. Still looking for someone to shoot at. And I'm kind of surprised. We've seen Mesa grab this amp and go shock side a couple of times. It's a little difficult at times to find opponents over there, because if they don't respawn by the stinger, there's not an easy way to navigate the map from that area. Another belt this time goes to Fragim. We'll go on board with him. Take a quick look at the scoreboard here as well, as we're up to a 40 frag lead, so this one's going to be well in hand for SAS. See 9-3 belts, 14-8 100 armors. Amp, like we said, was contested. The middle of the map, Mesa actually did a pretty decent job of knocking SAS off of 100 armor and amp. Unfortunately for them, during that time, SAS was still able to extend their lead. So, you know, maybe on paper did some of the things they wanted to do, just didn't quite work out. So map 1 going to go to SAS. SAS, of course, maintaining their perfect streak in this league, have not given up a point. They've had some close calls. We will, however, I believe, be moving to a North American hub after this. So, of course, this was the European hub and Mesa's map pick. We'll have the North American hub and SAS's map pick following this one. I would guess it would be Temple or Tempest, just from what we've seen before. Confirmation coming from Twitch chat, because Twitch chat is never wrong. Looks like it is Tempest map 2, not surprising. We've definitely seen SAS favoring that map. Really all 3 seed. I mean, they just really like that map. And of course it's been working out well for them, so why not? So last minute here, we'll take a look. See Slay just way out in front. 47, almost 4,800 damage. We've already watched him a bit, but you can see just being kind of a shock hawk, right? Just hanging out in the backside of the map. Those vials right there, I don't think you can overstate the importance of those vials. Yeah, he's going to be grabbing a lot of these 50s. He's going to be catching a lot of people off the spawns, either amp side or, you know, you can see even helping out with amp from below. Oh, and beautiful standing combos just by Slay. Hanging out, just using the angles that he got. So if you're playing that backside, you're playing shock, you're not really ever going to grab an amp because you're not going to be picking up jump boots. So unless you piston up top, you're just not going to touch it. So great example of kind of how you can still get kills, can still be effective, finding yourself outside of the rotation in that situation. 5,200 damage, ended up with a 5K bomb. Everyone else in the 3,000s. So huge game by Slay. 1450 armors. And look at that healing, that 978 healing. That's largely going to be on the backs of those health vials I pointed out, having that 5-pack right by him. Just an example of what happens when you put Slay. He's really the player that I think specializes the most in the game right now in that position, right? Playing the small armor, grabbing vials, maybe a couple of weapons, and just like isolating that section of the map and having his own just personal TDM game there. Comes up big in that game. Never really was knocked off the rotation. I don't think Shock Rifle was ever owned. We don't see the pickup stats, but I would be very curious in that game to look at number of Shock Rifles picked up by SAS compared to Mesa. I would be willing to bet probably 80 to 90% of the Shock Rifles were picked up by SAS that game. In any case, we're going to go to the NYC hub for map 2, 1 point down, and that will go to SAS. They remain perfect. Remember, Mesa Gaming, they if they can pull out 1 or 2 points even in this matchup, that would be huge for them. They don't have to put any crazy round numbers on the board. What's up, Seth? Joining us in chat. We are moving to 4v4 map number 2. Second match of the day, SAS versus Mesa Gaming. All right, looks like map 2 will be Tempest. Of course, has been favored by SAS for quite some time. Not surprising in any way to see them pick this one. And because of that, we kind of know what we're going to see from them on it position-wise. You'll probably see Wolverine mostly hovering around that shield belt area with a little bit of support. Slay will be playing that 100 armor vest room. Less of an island than on Defiant since it's adjacent to that shield belt room, so he'll be able to, kind of slide over and give some help. We'll see what Mesa can do to counter that. All right, players are ready. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you map 2 between Mesa and SAS. SAS running away in the end there with Defiance. We'll see what they can do on their map pick. Of course, you can see a completely different ping situation. Moving over to the North American hub. And this could be an opportunity. If Mesa Gaming can make it messy, they can just, challenge the power-ups, make it just one-on-one battles. I think with a more even ping scenario, they may have a chance to pull something together, but what really got them in trouble on Defiance was just the strategy. SAS was just better organized. This is another map, though. It's no secret that SAS chose this map. It's one that also requires a lot of organization. It's relatively big. You can see people getting in position, even just getting up to that shield belt. A 5 to 10 second ordeal, depending on if you have jump boots or if you piston or something like that. Wolverine, of course, getting the first one. That will likely be his baby. That'll be his, his favorite plant, if you will. He'll be babysitting that thing all game long. Not uncommon to see Wolverine get pretty much every shield belt in a game of Tempest. You can see he's not even leaving the room, so he's so focused on holding that area. Not even going to push out in position for amp. Now, for anyone who might be unfamiliar, Damage amp spawns way up top there. Pretty much the only way to get to it is through jump boots. Jump boots spawn around the corner. You see Wasty and Snatch down here fighting over him. That's the jump boot spawn. So very interesting. We'll sometimes see that that amp get delayed for quite some time as teams jockey for position. You see Kuski down low. That yellow streak means he has jump boots. Oh, he gets taken down. That means jump boots are going to drop. Frag him now will have boots, and he's got an opportunity to get that first amp. And you'll, like I said, you definitely see the amps get thrown out of sync a lot of times because if nobody has boots, nobody can grab it. Wolverine grabbing another shield belt. Frag him just circling around to help make sure that they secure that. That said, a couple minutes in, Mesa with a 2-frag lead, looking like they're ready to challenge on this one. So Wasty now with 100 armor and amp. Only a couple of seconds left. Wasty has been on fire so far today. We saw what he did with a couple of amp runs in the middle of Defiance. We looked at the effect that did or didn't have on the lead, but right now up to a 4-frag lead. Mesa and Wasty just relentless with the sniper rifle right now, shooting a cool 50% or so to kick things off. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. We got a little bit of time between power-ups. 2 belts to none for SAS. Mesa hasn't even really been challenging that belt yet. Kind of surprising. Meanwhile, we see a rampage here by Wasty. Starting off perfect already. Look at that, a double kill coming out. Looking for a multi perhaps. No, he does grab the 100 armor. And we'll see Kuski grabbing the vest across the map. So first time we've seen Mesa take control of that vest room, and things are looking a little bit interesting, aren't they? 8-frag lead for Mesa. It's still very early on, but this is as much of a challenge as we've seen any single team give SAS on this map. And amp is up. Wasty's up top with it. He's got boots still. He can go back up there. Snatch is going to be baiting him up there. He needs help from his teammates. He gets 1 kill. Looking for the double. He goes down in mid-air with those boots. Was there a charge of boots left? There was. And he goes down. Gives up the boots to Slay. And Slay with a huge amp grab. They'll probably be taking that over to 100 armor area. There it is. That is his domain. Looking to take back control. Maybe do some accidental... I don't know if that was friendly fire. I don't know who he hit there, but... Oh, and big shots. 3 or 4 already coming out with that amp. Multiple kills now. Something like 400 or 500 damage coming out with that amp run. So he didn't get a ton of kills, but that was a huge run there just to weaken the opponents. And again, Slay right now hitting something like 8 shots in a row. He might have missed 1 in there, but that was a huge run with the amp and even without the amp. And suddenly back to a 4-frag lead. So they cut the lead in half, and more importantly, took control of the map and down to a tie game. And just like that, that 8-frag lead disappeared instantly. SAS knows exactly what to do when they take control of a map. And now they are in the lead, and that could be the last lead that Mesa touches. We've seen SAS take control of maps and just never relinquish it. It's going to be up to Mesa now. Again, relatively new to TDM. Do they know what to do in this situation? We know they know how to front run. They know how to reorganize and come back and counterattack. We have 100 armor, belt, and amp all spawning simultaneously on this map. This is a big opportunity for one team to do a sweep. We see jump boots in the hand of Snatch. He's in position here to grab this amp. It spawns in 3 seconds. Oh, he may not have timing of it. We actually saw him waste those jump boots heading over to the 100 armor, but does he still have any left? It looks like he does. Still has 1 charge. Amp is up. And with a 4-frag lead, going on the run now, trying to crack this one open. This is the biggest lead that I think SAS has had this game. Big kill on Kuski, pushes it back up to 4. More big damage with the shock rifle coming out. SAS already has had a couple of huge spurts of damage come out with shot primaries. Both of their amp runs have been completely carried by it. And this isn't a map where you necessarily get yourself in position to hold the shock rifle, but I think Mesa Gaming might have to start considering that. Combos coming out left and right. Still holding pretty steady up to a 6-frag lead, but that's pretty much where we've been for a while now. You can see the amps still exclusively in SAS's control. 4-2 belts. 100 armor is being challenged. You see Lass up here. Knock it out. Snatch still 20 seconds till it spawns. Wolverine with another belt, and they're gonna eventually need to at least cycle through and knock someone off of this belt. What SAS likes to do is just chill back in that room, use it as sort of an oasis, like a place they can fall back to. You do have amp spawning in 7 seconds, down to a 2 frag lead. Mesa's been fighting their way back into it. Question is, as you see on the left side, nobody running around with armor. You basically have and Wolverine taking out everybody. Amp is up. Who has boots? Boots actually spawn right now. We'll see who gets to them first. That could be a big amp grab here as we approach the halfway point of this one. Snatch has him in his hands. He's going to go up top. Looking for sniper. It doesn't spawn. And there's another amp run with a shock rifle in his hands. This has been completely the strategy. Oh, but Rocket's coming out, knocking him down. Nice plays by Mesa to push him out of that room. That was a dangerous spot. Snatch with 120 health, a shock rifle, and double damage. This is what they've been using to really do damage, and he goes down. So a completely empty amp run there for SAS, and they trade kills. Oh, Slay with a double kill. Back up to a 7 frag lead. Mesa answers back a little bit, but still down to 6, so pretty much dead even the last few minutes of this one. I think biggest differentiator in, let's say, the last 3 minutes or so, still the power-ups, shield belts and amps. Mesa's been kind of challenging. They've been able to, you saw them take out the amp runner. They haven't really gone on a single meaningful amp run of their own, though. And that's a nice job of double teaming. They know they're going to catch Slay occasionally by himself. Around that 100 armor vest, you do have SAS falling back into that belt area. Belt is up, and as usual, SAS all over it. Mesa Gaming has not come up with an answer for the belt control of SAS, and when you go into every single fight with basically double to triple the health, I mean, look at the total team armor on the left side. 73, 79, 12 versus 0, 0, 0, 0. SAS basically has 30%, 40% more health as a team right now. You can see that already, just like that, push back up to a 10 frag lead on the backs of all that armor. You do have amp up. Wolverine coming through, no health, but he does have boots. We'll see what he decides to do. He might actually pass those. You can drop boots in this game. Amp still up. Kusky gets the kill on Wolverine. Kusky may decide... Okay, he backed out, so nobody picked up those boots. I'm curious if someone has a boot charge and wants to go grab that amp. It's back up to a 4... Or actually, I should say it's up to a 14 frag lead. Biggest lead of the game for SAS. This is basically a situation where Mesa Gaming has to be looking at an amp run. They've lost control of the 100 armor. They've never had control of the belt. And if they can't get control of the amp, then this one may be over. And SAS all over it. There is that amp grab by Snatch. Ooh, looks for the combo up top. So Mesa Gaming is circled around that shield belt room, but right now, looking for spawners is Snatch, missing. And there's the big flak primary. Oh, and kills his teammate with a flak ball. Unfortunate. So Snatch actually not doing a whole lot. We've seen a couple of empty amp runs from SAS, but hasn't really hurt them in the end. You see Fragem scooping up those 50 armors quietly, stacking those up. We've seen 100 armors completely go to the favor of SAS the last couple minutes. And of course, maintaining control of every power-up. I mean, look at that, only 11 seconds of amp time for Mesa Gaming. So they started off all right, and like I said, I think in a mad scramble, in a one-on-one pure fragging ability situation, Mesa Gaming can actually do some damage against SAS. Where they've really lost out here is the power-up control, and that's no accident. Like I say, the map choice here was very deliberate. It's a strategic map. It's a relatively slow map, all things considered, in the sense that it plays a little more methodically. So there's a shield belt grab by Mesa Gaming. Still only a 12 frag lead. I don't want to talk like this is over yet. If Mesa can start grabbing these power-ups, they definitely have time to eat into that lead. But you see that amp just chilling, and that's just something that, especially with the amp being up on a ledge and basically requiring boots to get to, there's almost a sub-objective. And there you go. Slay with a shock rifle, a damage amp, and jump boots. This is exactly what SAS wants to close this game out. 90 damage coming out there. We've seen that multiple times. And there's some kills coming out. More 90 damage shots coming out. So, again, not a ton of kills coming out, but 400, 500, 600 damage coming out in short succession with these... and another shot, another couple more shots coming out. Slay. Massive amp run, and that's going to do it, I think. Really on the backs. I mean, honestly, those shock rifle amp runs by SAS kind of single-handedly tell the story, just the amount of damage and kills they've gotten. But really control of all the power-ups. SAS, of course, backing up, sort of defaulting to that shield belt room for control. And that vest right there, the 100 armor vest, probably the easiest power-up to steal, but of course you need weapons to do that. So what may be the last amp about to spawn. We'll see if there's anyone in position for it. Slay down there with jump boots to see Mesa giving chase, trying to fight them off. Snatch somehow ends up with jump boots always in his possession. You do have the belt up and another belt taken by Wolverine. That's pretty much what we're used to seeing. We'll go on board with him. What is that? 8 belts now. I think that'll be the 8th one for Wolverine. So the only one from SAS that touched it. Wasty actually grabbed amp, so I think only the second time we've seen, actually, yeah, it was the second time we saw the amp grabbed by Mesa off the spawn. It gives you any idea of just how dominant the power-up control has been for SAS. So actually a fairly quiet amp run, but gonna drop a nice flat ball right on Akutski's face to close things out and throw another one upstream. That belt might actually get stolen though. Lass is up top. Oh, he does go down. Wolverine with a nice snipe. Akutski just waiting. Nope, he goes down to Wolverine as well. Trying to keep him off. But Wolf looking for his, I believe, 9th belt of the game. Oh, he goes down and Septos with a nice double kill. Oh, and he dives right by the shield belt and Septos with the bold strategy. That might have been Kuzki. It might have been Kuzki diving right by the belt. Ultimately not going to make a difference in the match, but they do keep Wolf from getting his 8th belt of the game. Pad their stats just a little bit. 20-8 vest, of course. Really, though, I mean, across the board, the power-up control was just completely on SAS's side. Last few minutes pushed it to a 30-plus frag lead, much like they did on Defiance, but it was a 10-12 frag lead for most of the middle of the game, and Mesa just couldn't crack it. They couldn't go on any meaningful amp runs. They couldn't get control of that belt no matter what they did. So credit SAS. I actually think that looked like a carbon copy of the Defiance game, where Mesa was able to fight back and counterattack from time to time, but even when they picked up a power-up or two, they just couldn't assess any control of the map. So Slay again leading his team, but Snatch right behind him. Saw some huge amp runs come through. So not only was Mesa really unable to put together any amp runs, but SAS, it just seemed like Snatch in particular just ended up with amp, shock rifle, and some extra health and armor in his hands, just ran around the map, shock taping, and people just fell. I mean, it wasn't that they got any crazy multi-kills there, just 90 damage here, 90 damage there, and all of a sudden running through the middle of the map, everyone was taking 90 damage. That can be so disruptive, even when you have control of a map, and then all of a sudden the enemy team gets a shock rifle or any, gets a weapon and an amp in their hands, and all of a sudden your entire team's dead after wiping the other team and taking control of the map and thinking you're establishing yourself. It can be such a morale killer, but that's the thing about power-up control, right? And especially on a map like Tempest, where you basically aren't going to give up the amp unless you give up the boots anyway. You can almost you can almost ignore amp room as far as amp timing. Now, of course, shock rifle's in that room, so it makes it a critical weapon to pick up, but you can almost just cycle through that room for the weapon and not even worry about the amp if you're focused on the boots. So both 4v4 maps going to SAS, maintaining their perfect streak. 2 points on the board for them. 2v2 should be going up soon. I'm going to take just a quick water break. Of course, we've been on the air for a while now as we had that transition. So I'm going to grab a quick drink while they get that server up, but it shouldn't be long. Players look like they're already in NYC, so we might be getting started there for 2v2. Oh, there it is. Server is up. So actually, you know what? Let's just jump in. They're ready to go. I'm ready to go. I can always run and grab a quick drink in between maps. So map 2, Cannon. Or excuse me, map 1, I should say, is Cannon. We're on NYC, which suggests this is SAS's map pick. That's an interesting choice, I must say. Against a team like Mesa, who isn't lacking in aim, this is a much more simplified map. And we'll see what happens here. This could be interesting. There we go. Sorry, we lost game sounds there for a second. So here we go, kicking off the 2v2 portion. Okay, so it looks like we're going to be playing everything on NYC since it's the West Coast team. That is a good point. Septos, Wasty, both West Coast, as we've covered before. So maybe playing the whole match here, and Septos and Wasty each getting a kill there as well. So this is evidently SAS's map pick. It's an interesting choice. So let's review the 4v4 portion where Mesa Gaming able to hold their own. I wouldn't say they had an advantage. I would say SAS still, especially in 4v4, has an advantage over pretty much any team with pure fragging ability. But Mesa Gaming, that's definitely not their weakest point. I would say organization, you know, getting ahead of power-ups, just getting that feel for TDM, fighting back after having, you know, losing control. That's kind of where they were lacking, the strategic, you know, high-level experience. Was their weak point in Team Deathmatch. Oh, you see him jumping down in that cannon. Wolverine diving in, getting that amp, now trying to go on a run here and establish some semblance of control. But this is a map, basically a pure aim map. I mean, there's a little bit of control, a little bit of, you know, obviously positioning and stuff. It's largely still a wide open room where you're going to have a lot of shock and sniper. And in my opinion, that could play into Mesa's favor here. I don't know. I would not want to face Wasty and Septos on a shock and sniper heavy map. Now, right now, SAS is making the most of it, and largely on the backs of their power-up control. I mean, you saw that grab right there, completely uncontested. If Mesa Gaming can't get ahead of these shield belts, then it won't be much of a game, I don't think. But we're still pretty even here. 1 point game, obviously, very, very early on. But they have to find a way to challenge those belts. Ooh, was that a headshot from across the map? Wolverine going all the way down to 60. Actually, I think it was at 25 HP there. Maybe 35. Gets the double kill, though, and there's the bubbles. Underwater actually gone. He's got more bubbles underneath on the other side. Dangerous to go down there, of course. You were just a sitting duck. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard as we're early on here. So Mesa Gaming has been holding that 100 armor, and that's a decent counter to the belt. Oh, just waiting for him to come in, and Wolverine here not even wanting the belt, leaving it for his teammates, saying, you grab it. Amp is up, though. Wasty grabs that amp. We've seen him go on some monster amp runs already in this matchup. And there's 2 big shots in a row to erase all of that armor. 100 armor is up. He's going to need to try to get to it, and he won't. That means Amp and 100 armor will go to Snatch. Or Wolverine, rather, is going to grab the 100 as they share that, and that's going to be a problem. They'd lose that kill back, and already SAS completely dominating this map. Nice flanking there. You see Snatch in position to throw the combos down. Up to a 14-7 lead. And one thing, when we talk about power up control, we talk about SAS's dominance there. Just keep an eye on that left side of the screen, that team health and team damage, or excuse me, team armor rather, and how much extra damage Mesa Gaming has to do to win a team fight. You got 222 armor on the side of SAS compared to 0 for Mesa. So any kind of fight Mesa gets into right now, they basically have to do triple the damage. There's some big shots coming out. Wasty hitting some critical flak primaries. We do have this amp spawning. We haven't seen the actual cannon go off yet. Of course, this cannon right now, anytime it's green, it's armed. If someone shoots it when it's armed, it will blast them off the map. You saw it go off there. Nobody actually getting caught yet. Some dangerous spots with that amp. A couple of quick kills with that amp run. And this is an opportunity for Wasty to try to fight back into it for Mesa. They have to find some targets. More to the point, with 12 seconds on the belt spawn, they might need to try to find some amount of control. It almost feels like they've been conceding the belt. Like, it feels like they decided just to not challenge the shield belt at all and maybe try to control the 100 armors instead. So far, getting mixed results. You can see 6-300 armors, 5-0 now in belts. And I don't know, it's an interesting proposition. Now they do both have armor, so they do have an armor advantage. If they can get every single 100 armor, I think that strategy can be okay. It can sort of draw even. Septos now running around with 145 HP. He's going to need to try to do some damage to cut back into this lead. Oh, but he flaks himself in the face, and he's caught out, and Snatch just erases him. And what I'm seeing by SAS too, familiarity with this map. Snatch not just getting a kill, but then immediately looking for the spawn kill. You see a lot of familiarity. Some folks have definitely played this map a lot more than others. It's not really super common to be played in elimination pubs anymore, and that's, you know, a lot of the sort of casual gaming people are doing in this game. Snatch with another belt. Amp is up, and Septos does grab it, so we see Mesa Gaming getting many of these amps off the spawn, which, you know, at this point, is kind of their saving grace. They're going to need to try to do some damage with it. You have 40 seconds till the belt spawns because it just got taken, so what is he going to do here? Snatch is basically just hiding at this point. I'm kind of surprised that they haven't been able to pick anyone out. This amp has been completely unused. There's one shot. So somehow, SAS was able to hide from the amp runner on this map, of all maps, to be able to disappear in essentially a one-room map and make your opponent completely waste their amp. So we're approaching the halfway point here, and Mesa's still got time left. I mean, they're only down by 10. We've seen leads like that disappear in a hurry on this map. But then once again, 100 armor up, belt up, and they completely concede the belt. So you get 200 damage, or 200 armor on the side of SAS, 100 on the side of Mesa. There's one kill already, doubling them up to make it 22-11. And I almost feel like Mesa's trying to outthink this map. I think they're trying to play very strategic and slowly and methodically. Whereas I think their best chance on this map was to make it messy, was just make it a dogfight. Just brawl. I mean, they have pure aiming ability that I think can at the very least stand up to Wolf and Snatch. You see a nice combo there by Inceptos. They've just been getting out-positioned more so than out-aimed this map. Oh, Inceptos and Wolverine killing each other with rockets. Meanwhile, Snatch picks up the amp. There's one big kill. Nice flak straight to him. He's going to have to run away, though, and pick up some health. Oh, but now he's got him down in the water. This should be a kill. Actually, nice job Finds Septos to escape, but gives up the 100 armor in the process. And Snatch, of course, throwing a combo right up top. Controlling the middle of this map, so important because of that shock rifle. Of course, long range and it lets you shoot around those corners. We've already seen them make great use of that. The 2 kills there by Snatch. Going down, not afraid to dive down. And so that's a smart move. If you're going to have to dive into the water for health, you definitely want to do it right after getting a kill. You don't want to do it in the middle of a fight. Snatch right now just... can we see? It doesn't... Oh, it gets blasted off the map. Nice job. And the awareness as he actually hits a fadeaway shot falling off the map. A nice job with the awareness by Mesa. Catching his opponent on the cannon. Even though Amp wasn't up. Meanwhile, he just casually respawns and grabs belt. Amp wasn't up, but you can see there's 8 health vials on it. So that's actually a pretty big boost to your health if you can manage to grab it. Even in between amp spawns. So this is an important section of the map. Ooh, you see the midair rocket just missing. Amp is up though. You see Inceptos ready to grab it. Snatch actually down low, ready to knock him off of it. Now you get this game of chicken here where both teams can see the power up. Both teams can also take shots onto the cannon. And what happens is Snatch circles around to grab the armor. He's up to 150. Gets the kill. Wolverine takes out Wasted. This should be an easy amp grab. And this could be the opportunity for Snatch to just put this one away, up to an 18 frag lead. Haven't seen SAS score in a little bit now. Oh, midair sniper shots. Actually taking a good amount of Enforcer. Hits the fadeaway sniper. That was probably maybe one of the hardest shots we've seen him hit today. It was actually a really nice shot. But as it is, up to a 20-point lead, and I think SAS has completely taken control now. You can see dead even on the 100 armors now, and you know, if you're going to give up all 10 belts, the only way to make that work is you have to basically double it up. You pretty much have to take perfect control of the 100 armor. What we've seen from SAS is that they'll take that shield belt and then run across the map and just bully Mesa off of that 100. And so smart counterplay by SAS. They maybe saw explicitly or maybe just kind of instinctively saw what Mesa was doing, essentially not challenging those belts, and knew exactly how to counter. And so you can see that the fruits of that. Mesa has had a decent amount of amp time this game. Hasn't really gotten a ton of kills. I mean, only about a 900 damage difference, but you feel like SAS has just been in control of this one pretty much the whole time. Amp is up. SAS all over it. Snatch will get a grab of that, and not only are they grabbing these amps now, but they're grabbing them with armor after taking control essentially of that 100 as well. Oh, and Snatch continues to just snatch it up really and just run around being a human turret. I don't think he's shooting any kind of insane... I mean, 50% sniper is certainly not anything to sneeze at. Pretty big on a map like this that's so wide open. We've seen, of course, a lot of shock primary coming into play and lots of combos. So there we go, almost tripling them up. I think Mesa scored 1 point in the last 2 or 3 minutes. SAS has just completely taken over this map. And Septos finally has some armor. One more shot away from taking out Snatch with 5 HP being extra aggressive. And of course, Wolverine gets the flank kill. Actually, Wasty does chase him down and get the kill. At this point, it's kind of all academic. Map 1 will go to SAS. This is a best of 3 though, so for anyone who's new to us, not familiar with the format, we will be playing mixed format, I guess would be the way to say it. So 2 4v4 maps. Each of those was worth a point. Best of 3 2v2 will be worth another point. And then 2 best of 3 duels. So you can see a 1 map lead going into map 2 in the 2v2. So SAS will still be 1 map away from gaining that 3rd point. Wasty's going to have one last amp run. Going to be running around with a pistol just to see what he can do. Snatch gets pushed off the map. So 2nd kill off the side of the map. Ring out, if you will. But unfortunately not going to have any real effect on the outcome here. All right, coming down into the last minute of this one, and Wasty does grab a belt. Is that the first belt? I think that was the first shield belt of the game for Mesa. So if it gives you any idea, not so much with the pure dominance of SAS, so much as the strategy. Mesa basically gave up on the shield belts, which is an interesting concept on this map in particular. Unfortunately, they also only picked up about half of the 100 armors, as you can see. And that was really the breaking point, I think, in this map. You can see they actually did a decent job of challenging the amps. Did pretty good damage, all things considered. But SAS had every single shield belt and half of the 100s, so they just were running around with double to triple the armor, and I think that really made the difference. So map 1 will go to SAS. Nice showing on this map that I honestly thought this map could be one that Mesa had a chance to take. Curious to find out what map 2 is. I've heard it might be Focus, and if that's the case, that's certainly going to favor SAS. I believe that's been their map pick pretty much unwaveringly in the 2v2s.
To the king, baby.
All right, here we go. Map 2. Players are in. We will be on DM Focus. Another map that I think favors SAS's playstyle, largely because it's very position-based. It's really all about you can get into position for the power-ups ahead of time. It's another one not unlike Tempest, where jump boots can give you access to the amp. You can get up to this amp without boots. So we'll see if that plays a factor. All right, here we go. Players are ready. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Bringing you map 2 in the 2v2 portion. We just saw SAS taking map 1 in dominant fashion on Cannon. We're going to be on Focus, a map that they have just been very impressive on for 3 seasons now, basically. So in order to challenge them in this map, Mesa Gaming isn't going to be able to rely on pure fragging ability. We saw that not really be the case on Cannon. They're going to have to come up with a strategy and a backup strategy, I think, for any map here. So in the outset, early 1-0 lead. Actually kind of surprised to see it be such a slow start. You can see Mesa getting to that shield belt well in advance. Maybe they were just backing up, but you can see kind of holding up in that room. Not a bad idea. This is sort of a base in here. You can definitely get to the belt well ahead of time and defend it. Unfortunately, he goes down, didn't have cover. Both Mesa players go down. Tie game, and first belt does go to SAS, which means they're going to use that to just churn out some spawn kills and try to take control of this map early on. We do have 15 seconds till the amp spawns, but again, jump boots going to give the easiest access. You can piston tap up to it. You'll see it up top right above us. So you see jump boots, of course, the easiest method. You can piston up there. So it won't quite be like Tempest where you need boots. But of course, boots going to be very important in this map, as in pretty much any map that they spawn in. So just like that, 6 straight kills, I believe. Maybe make that 7. I think it was 2-0 for Mesa at one point. And just like that, killing spree for Wolf. Still 100 armor. Didn't even grab the 50 armor, saving it for his teammate. Oh, and just on a tear right now, hitting sniper after sniper. Building an early lead, and based on what we saw on Cannon, Mesa's definitely going to have to come up with some sort of different playstyle if they want to challenge them, because this map really favors the playstyle of SAS, which is no secret. I mean, again, this is why this has been their map pick basically for 3 seasons in their 2v2. So Snatch, you can see the teamwork by SAS coming up huge there. The flanking belt wasn't coming up anytime soon. It was just a fight that was happening. You can see Incepto standing still for a split second. Maybe a bit of a tilt there. We do have Amp and Belt both coming up. We'll back up just a little bit to see if anyone gets in position. Wolverine already hanging out with 87 armor. Kind of surprised to see him not even give that one up. Amp is up. That goes to Snatch. And right now, Mesa's in no position to challenge these power-ups. Sorry, we'll go back to the Amp runner. And it looks like Mesa maybe have lost their focus in this one. See the Rampage by Snatch, 10-1 already. Saw the killing spree there by Wolverine. In fact, he's got 7 in a row on his side. We could see this be an early concession, given the way things have started. Again, though, this map being one that SAS has looked unstoppable on as it is. I think if Mesa was going to force a map 3, I think that map 1 on Cannon was really their best bet. Two snipes in a row. Nice shots by Snatch. Belt is up soon, and again, just completely dominated. Look at that. Look at the armors. So 7-0 total, or 7-1, I should say. Make that 10. Sorry, all the stats just updated. 10-1 total armors as far as 100 and vest. Mesa just not able to get anything under their control, and that's basically what happened on Cannon. They were able to actually control the 100 armors for a little while. They basically conceded Belt to get the 100s, kept them in it for a little while, and then ultimately SAS taking control of everything. And this map looks a little bit more like the 4v4 portion, in that SAS just running the map, controlling all the resources. Hard to fight whenever you're going into a fight and the other team has double damage and their team has 100 more armor. Ooh, nice rockets coming out, breaking him down to 14 HP. And going up against, like I said, armor and Amp, not easy, but nice use of the rockets there by Wasty. Able to break him down and take him out. That was a pretty nice kill by Wasty, not giving up on it. And it's actually a pretty decent example if you want to talk philosophically. When you get caught in TDM, sometimes you get into a situation where you're running away the whole time and you're just getting spawn killed over and over and not doing any damage. Sometimes you're better off challenging them, and you might go down, but at the very least you can knock off some of their armor stack. We saw that they're able to get the kill. Maybe just a moral victory before the concession, but this one was going well in the way of SAS. So, good games coming out. 3 points on the board already. All the TDM games going to SAS. Continuing their run, but this is still an opportunity in the duel portion where Mesa can perhaps try to take some points. So, looks like server is up. It's going to be Toxic Shade as the first dueler. I think usually we're seeing exit next right. So we'll see who his opponent is actually going to be. I'm going to step away for 1 quick second to grab a drink. But don't go anywhere. We've got just a couple more moments until we get the duel portion of this matchup underway. All right, we are back in action. Looks like server might be up, so I've got 2 servers up with Mesa players in it. I've got Reeve and Toxic Shade in a server, and then I've got Lass in a server. So I'm not sure what the first match is actually going to be. Okay, looks like exit next right, not around. Okay, I gotcha. So the first dueler for Mesa Gaming, not around. They're going to play the second one first, it looks like, Toxic versus Reeve. So we'll jump into that one. And if need be, they can use a Joker to replace exit. Okay, so we're going to start off with basically the second duel of this matchup. Toxic Shade versus Reeve. First one would be Slave versus Exit next right. Exit not around yet. Perhaps getting caught up with work or something. If need be, Last will be ready to Joker in for him and replace him. So here we go. Looks like we got players in. Toxic versus Reeve. Again, a best of 3 duel between these two will determine another point, the 4th one on the table between these two teams. We've seen SAS take the first 3, looking very convincing in the TDM matches. But anything can happen when you break it down to 1v1. All right, players are ready. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, it's game time, baby. Con X5. Here, bringing you the duel portion. SAS has been dominant so far in TDM, but again, anything can happen when you break it down to 1v1. You got Toxic versus Reeve here. An interesting map between these two. Toxic, I think, is at his best when he's playing the mid to long range game with the shock actually looking just like that. Like Reeve got the kill with the prediction combos. That's actually the kind of thing that I think Toxic kind of excels at. Reeve really wants to play the short to medium game. It's very much a combo, link heavy player, maybe a little bit of flak, wants to get in your face, make things a little bit dirty. You see him running around with the flak out. Toxic, yeah, again, shock and sniper, more distant kind of player. A lot of kiting. A lot of ambushing shots like that where he wants to fly around a corner, hit you with sort of a peek shot. Ooh, looking for the rockets. Maybe just trying to disrupt him. Does get the snipe, but not before Reeve gets the combo off, grabs that belt, and now going to be up 2-0 and looking to chase him down. And look at that, not a single major armor for Toxic so far. Reeve been in great position to just push him around the map at this point. We know Toxic's going to have the opportunity, if he can get a sniper rifle in his hands, to slow things down, get a little bit of poke damage here and there, just try to take some shots to maybe knock Reeve off of his rotations. But if he can't get some armor under his belt, it's going to be very hard for him to ever really challenge. So we'll see what happens. And there's another chase down. Reeve, of course, kind of known for those link gun chase downs, knows that you're weak. And he's just on the hunt right now. He's got 150 armor. He knows his opponent doesn't have any armor because, I mean, you look at the scoreboard. Toxic hasn't picked up any major armors in this matchup, and so far, Reeve just on top of it right now. Oh, and a nice combo catches him going for the 100. And I think Reeve right now maybe just has a half step of map knowledge ahead of Toxic. It looks like he's just predicting him perfectly. It's not even a matter of him out aiming. He's just one step ahead, picking up everything that Toxic wants to grab. Although in that case, Toxic was able to get the shock rifle. So Reeve a little bit early rotating around to that 100. That'll be a little bit of downtime. This is Toxic's opportunity to pick up some weapons. You saw him scoop up some vials. He's not going to get in position for armor, though he could steal the 100 armor if he rotated around. Unfortunately, he doesn't seem to have timing of it, or he could have gone straight there. So now Reeve places himself between his opponent and the armor. It's a smart play. So still not a single 100 armor or shield belt for Toxic. He's just been on his heels the whole game. And again, you see that patented link gun by Reeve just melting him down. And even if he doesn't get the kill there, just chasing him down, keeping him on the run. And once again, extending that lead. Ooh, it looked like it almost was a headshot. Oh, there you go. Okay, Toxic going down, but I think Reeve was upset. The first one wasn't a headshot. Decided to just give him the old of mice and men finisher right there. Toxic just wanted to pet the rabbits. We'll see what happens on map 2. So yeah, you can see there really the item control, the key point of that. Not a single 100 armor or shield belt for Toxic. Of course, you played an abbreviated match there, but was pretty one-sided. Reeve well in control. I think Solo really a map. Solo and Leah to me are the maps that really play into Reeve's style the most. Deep here, I think one that Toxic can maybe do a little bit better job. If he can get a shock rifle in his hands, you can even do some peek snipery stuff to keep Reeve at a distance. That said, this isn't necessarily a wide open long range map either, so this is an interesting one to see between these two. So here we go. SAS already 3 points on the board. And one map advantage for Reeve, looking to close it out and get that 4th point. Toxic looking to force a map 3. And here we go. All right, players are ready. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Jumping in for another duel map between Reeve and Toxic Shade. We just saw Reeve kind of just methodically grinding his way through Solo, controlling every major armor, and taking the map 1 victory. Toxic trying to force a map 3 here. 4th potential point between these two teams. SAS has been perfect so far. Early shots, though, by Toxic. If he can pull out that sniper rifle and that shock rifle, he can keep Reeve at a distance, make it a long-range hit-scan duel kind of matchup. May play out in his favor a little bit better than what we saw on Solo. This is the advantage, though, to Reeve's playstyle. So here you see Toxic had Reeve on the ropes a little bit. When you play that distance playstyle, it really relies on you hitting clutch shots and predicting your opponent to set up the kills. The advantage to someone like Reeve's playstyle, ooh, nice job there, rocketing him right before you get to that belt. When you're already in close to medium range, if you do get that big hit on your opponent, you're already in range to finish them. We saw that from Reeve, often pulling out that blink gun. One thing Reeve will see in this matchup is he'll probably have the ability to escape whenever he does take heavy damage. Perfect example of that right now. Down to 40 HP, Toxic, not the kind of player that's going to dive at him with that link gun out to try to finish him off. So he lets him get away. Now, what Toxic did do in that meantime is he turned around, he scooped up some more resources on the map, stacked himself up, denied them to his opponent. But just a difference in playstyles that I'd like to point out. And there he goes, jumping in close range over the 100. You see that going for the snipe through the grate. There's so many places you can shoot through this map. Lots of combos, flat balls, things like that will get thrown through there. You don't often see the prediction snipes up there. Belt up, and that's going to go to Toxic. Still 10 seconds till the 100 armor spawns, so you see Toxic going to rotate through the map, pick up some health vials. Nice snipe right there. And getting in his face with the flak. Big flak actually came out by Reeve, and so 100 armor is up. Toxic, I don't know if he realizes he could have actually circled around. Oh, and he does close range. This isn't really going to be where Toxic wants to be. Reeve, though, this is exactly where he wants to be, up close. He has the health advantage. He can finally be aggressive. We'll see what he decides to do. So with 100 armor, he knows he can get into Toxic's face, and if he can start a fight, he's got flak, he's got link, he's got the shock rifle, he's got all those weapons he likes to brawl with. Ooh, and had a beautiful combo lined up. Couldn't quite finish it. Still 10 seconds till the belt spawns. Nice long-range shots by Toxic. Toxic, though, in a close-range battle with flak. This could go either way. Rockets come out. Toxic able to weather the storm. And that's another clutch kill. Both kills have come in the midst of fights over that belt. And actually with rockets, of all things. So Toxic coming up big with those clutch rockets, fighting over the power-up, where really kind of a 50-50 battle both times. So like I was saying, keep an eye out. Basically, Reeve is just waiting, biding his time. He just wants one initial shot. If Reeve can get one bit of damage, just like that, now he's going to go all in, and Reeve going to be super aggressive, but a nice rocket turning him away. Big combos, though. Big combo follow-up, and this is the difference in playstyle. Reeve will definitely chase him down and try to track him down with flak and link to finish him off. Toxic in those situations was a little more defensive in this case. Back and forth damage. Either player can get a kill here. Down to 22 and 28 HP. Reeve able to finish him off. Down to 28 HP though. He'll be on the run. Won't be able to follow it up, but he might be able to win the foot race to the shield belt. And he does, so he gets the belt. Smart play with the rockets. We've already seen 2 kills fighting over that belt, and this time, no real opportunity. And you can see how aggressive. Oh, and Toxic makes him pay, and that's a smart move by Toxic. Again, knowing the playstyle difference, knowing that Reeve will be extra aggressive, try to track him down every time he damages him. It's a smart play by Toxic. He threw a combo behind him, and Reeve did the same thing there, answering right back. These players are going shot for shot right now, but Reeve down to 34 HP. Mid-health levels aren't up. He's going to have to drop down just to get up to 59 health. One snipe could still take him out. Toxic running around. We're going to go on board with him. You see him timing that shock rifle. Really wants to keep it under his control. 10 seconds till the 50 is up. 100's up now, though. So kind of surprised to see 100 armor just sitting. Reeve circled around and got it. I think Toxic completely lost track of it, and that could be a problem because now we're going to have a fight. Oh, big combo was lined up. Didn't quite hit it. Almost knocks him off the back there. Another combo gets the kill, and that's the 3rd kill on the shield belt. Clutch shooting coming out again. Every single kill from Toxic Shade has come fighting over the shield belt. In a 50-50 scenario, 2 with rockets, 1 with shock, and credit Toxic. He's getting into these close range battles where Reeve wants to be, and he's just been out shooting him in those scenarios when it counts the most. Ooh, a nice turnaround combo. Didn't get the kill, but he did scoop up that 100 armor, and now Reeve going to be in a real tough spot as we pass the halfway point of this match, and a nice prediction snipe. And this right now, this game is going exactly the way Toxic wants to go. And this is where he wants to be, the long, medium to long range combos, sniper, shock rifle. Still got 2 seconds on this 100 armor, but it looks like he's going to control it. And if he heads straight over to belt, if Toxic Shade can keep Reeve off of this belt, that would be absolutely massive. Does Reeve dare stay aggressive? He does. He stands in there, kind of surprised. Given the way the fights over the belt have gone, I thought maybe Toxic could scare him off of it, but instead, Reeve sits in, grabs it, and maybe able to chase him down. We're pretty much dead even on health and armor at this point. Nice move by Toxic picking up that health. That will give him the ability to back up that armor. But Reeve grabs the 100, so still dead even right now. Reeve looking to be kind of aggressive, running down on time, or running low on time, I should say. Reeve, though, you'll notice no shock rifle. Oh, he picks it up. Toxic gave up the shock rifle there. Reeve's right there. I thought he was going to try to scoop it up. Instead, maybe looking to just try to put some distance. That gives Reeve a huge tool now to try to track him down. Oh, you can see he caught him peeking towards that sniper right now, but Flak, of all things, turning him away. So Belt is up right now. Toxic's in position ahead of time. More clutch shooting and another kill over that shield belt. Toxic back in control, and that may have been the one that will close it out for him and force a map 3. And now this is where Toxic wants to be. Yeah, just kiting him around, taking peek shots with the sniper rifle. And big comeback by Toxic. Not comeback in the match, but comeback after map 1. Look at that control. 5-2 belts. Huge kills. I think that was 4 kills in 50-50 scenarios over the shield belt. Toxic, I mean, credit to him. That match actually didn't go quite the way I thought it would. Toxic was very aggressive over those belts and just won the close range fights. Reeve had his opportunities, had what he wanted in some senses. But Toxic just won all those coin flip, clutch kills where you're in a situation where one more shot would win it. Takes map 2, controls it, and pushes us to a map 3 tiebreaker.
Hail to the king, baby.
So here we go, map 3. This will be a very interesting one. I'll say right off the bat, I think this map would benefit Reeve's playstyle more, but we just saw, from what we just saw to Toxic, this is a very, very fascinating game. And here we go, 3, 2, 1, and it's game time, baby. Connex 5 bringing you map 3. An opportunity for Mesa to potentially grab a huge point in the rankings. We saw them have a 1 map advantage over SOW earlier in the season. If they can manage to eke out a point against SAS, that would be massive towards their rankings and potential seeding for the playoffs. We've split maps so far. Reeve took map 1 pretty convincingly. Toxic Shade taking deep though, running it the whole time, hitting some huge shots, clutch kills. This is a map that traditionally I would think benefits Reeve's playstyle, but the way Toxic played last map, oh, it's hard to know, but nice, beautiful combo right there. That was a massive combo, 176 damage, I think it was. Erases all of the health and armor, and that'll reset Toxic. Reeve now has a huge head start. We'll go back on board with Reeve. I don't know that Toxic's going to be able to challenge this belt. And this is beginning to look a little bit more like the beginning of Solo. And Toxic's going to have to pull out some big damage here because otherwise Reeve is just going to be aggressive. A nice escape. You see him scooping up that, ooh, that shock rifle almost ate a combo. It said gets a kill and the 100, and right now Reeve is on a roll. And this will be very difficult for Toxic to fight his way out of. But if he can pick up some damage here via rockets, flak, maybe even a combo, he has to find a way to get some damage on the board because Reeve right now is just completely in aggression mode. Doesn't even have to fear because he has that extra armor. There's one nice shot. Toxic is completely capable of hitting snipe after snipe. There's 2. Oh, had a peek shot there. If he would have hit that, would have been huge. He does send Reeve down for health. Toxic deciding to go up top with 44 HP. If he can steal this belt away, that would be a huge gamble. No, he decides to just kind of bait him up top. I think he was trying to shoot him as he came up that left. Oh man, if Toxic had gone after that belt, he might have actually grabbed it instead. Reeve with the peek shot, grabs the 100 armor, and just like that, right back in control. Early on this one, we'll take a quick look. Already 5-0 armors for Reeve, and this is basically what Solo looked like. We'll see if Toxic can fight his way back into it. He's got 75 armor under his belt, and so Reeve grabbing that 100 didn't really help him at all, I guess is the good news. Toxic has had some time. We'll go on board with him to pick up a couple weapons. He's got a shock rifle, a flat cannon. He's probably going to want to try to get his hands on a sniper rifle. I mean, the way Reeve has been getting stacked up, you're not going to try to kill him with one combo or one flat cannon. You're going to need to try to eat away at his health. Yeah, prediction combos like that, just a coin toss, but no real risk. If he can get a sniper rifle and get some peak shots like that in, maybe he can pull a headshot off or something like that. What Toxic doesn't want to do is get caught in a close range fight with a huge health and armor deficit. He's up to 125 over 100, but look at that, 160 over 150 for Reeve. And actually like what Toxic's doing here, slowing things down, has that sniper rifle out. If he can hit one or two snipes in a row, oh, and there's a huge combo by Reeve, and that completely erases everything that Toxic had built up. You can expect Reeve to be highly aggressive now with almost a complete max stack. Reeve is not afraid of anything that Toxic can do to him right now. And we're approaching the halfway point, and Toxic basically health and armor reset. You have belt up in 5. If Toxic wants, he could try to challenge it. The thing is, 100 armor is delayed, and Toxic doesn't appear to have timing on it. So belt went to Reeve. Reeve also knows exactly when that 100 armor spawns. The problem with Toxic is he doesn't have that information. He doesn't know when 100 spawns. So he doesn't really know, actually, when to take a calculated risk. And for some reason, Reeve, I think, thought he was circling around the map. That'll give 100 armor to Toxic. And while he's extremely weak, that's that critical piece of information that he needed. He should have timing on it now. Reeve is completely maxed out his stack. It's at 190 over 150. No way Toxic's going to be able to challenge him for this belt. But he does have timing of that 100 armor, and that's critical. Able to get control of that shock rifle. He has every weapon except rocket launcher, which shouldn't really matter. 100 armor is up now. And like I said, now that piece of information, just that spawn timer. And one shot comes out, and now, just like that, belt's up, and actually, oh, Toxic doesn't know. Toxic had an opportunity to circle around and challenge belt. Instead, Reeve goes around the long way and still beats him to it. I think Toxic should have heard it taken, though. So if Toxic Shade heard that belt taking, he should now have timing of both armors again. And we're halfway through this one in a 4-point lead for Reeve, but smart play by Toxic has slowed this down. Reeve has been completely and utterly maxed out on his stack. Oh, the weapon switch right there. Ill-advised weapon switch by Toxic. Unfortunately, came at a terrible time. He does back up into the 100 armor, which allows him to put some damage on Reeve. Reeve's going to be extra aggressive, though. He still has 200 health. Big rocket, though. Takes him down another one, and Reeve on a killing spree, but Toxic completely erases his stack down to 73. He could chase him down and maybe get a kill, if nothing else. Toxic has put himself in position to challenge for this next belt, and he should have timing on it. So a bit of a minor victory there by Toxic. He's going to go all in here. He's got the sniper out, couldn't hit the shot. Reeve took him out, and I think that's going to be it. With 4 minutes to go, there's still time, but Toxic right now needs to get something big, and Reeve's playstyle is going to make that very difficult on a map like this. And that's the advantage when you have that extra 50 armor. You can dive in there, be aggressive, damage yourself a little bit, get the kill, and then just keep rolling. And Reeve's been rolling all map long. You can see 6 belts to none. You can look at that 100 armor. It was completely in control of Reeve. Toxic was able to finally get timing of it. Challenged him for it, allowed him to challenge for that belt. Decided to go all in on it. Really was putting a lot of pressure on himself to hit that sniper shot. Missed 2 in a row, and then that was it. Reset him again, and the way Reeve is running the map, I think the timer is going to run out, even if Toxic can manage to break him down again. And there is the bait and the kill, and I think that'll close it out. So it looks like SAS is going to remain perfect as far as points go, but Toxic Shade able to take map 2 from Reeve to force this tiebreaker. Really exciting matchup here. Unfortunately for Toxic, I think he caught Reeve on one of his best maps. I mean, Leah really works towards his playstyle. I don't think this map really plays into Toxic Shade's playstyle all that well. I don't know how comfortable he is on it personally, or how much he favors it personally, but you can see the way Reeve's been running the map. Really comfortable. I mean, he had max stack for much of the middle of the game. So for the last couple minutes, basically we're just going to look at Reed bouncing around the map here. I mean, oh, nice peek sniper shot there. Really taking a page out of Toxic's playbook. That's the kind of shot he would be throwing out. We actually saw from him on deep a couple times with a peek around the corner, curving the bullet sniper shots. So a nice 3-map duel there. But in the end, SAS takes the points again. 4 points on the board for SAS. We've got 1 duel left. Would normally be exit next right against Slay. I think exit next right might be unavailable. And so then I think Mesa's going to use a Joker, which is a certain, basically a last minute sub. Every team has a certain number of those that you can use. And I think they're going to sub in Last now to get this match played. Last does duel, though. I mean, he's sometimes been the number 1 or number 2 dueler for Mesa. Like I say, they roll 5 to 6 deep. Toxic Shade largely been dedicated to dueling. Exit next right largely just been dedicated to dueling. Last sometimes duels. So a pretty deep roster for Mesa, which is great if you don't want to worry about forfeits, right? Always have someone ready to jump in to play your match. So we do have Last with a server up. It's on Lee. I'm not sure if that's just a warm-up map where he's been running around or if that's the actual map, but we'll see if Slay jumps in to play this match or if they re-host.
Hail to the king, baby.
This matchup, by the way, brought to you by Elote. Essentially Mexican street corn. If you've never had it before, find your closest taqueria. Ask for it if it's not on the menu. I guarantee if it's a real taqueria, they'll have some form of elote. We don't have an elote sponsor between RYE and or me personally, so if anybody knows anyone, any elote dealers, want to be a sponsor, I will shill your corn on stream. Surely there must be some Mexican or Tex-Mex food in the UK, right? Like there's got to be. In the US, you can go anywhere and there's enough people that have kind of immigrated or moved around or whatever the case may be. Like you go up to like Washington State, right on the border of Canada, and there's halfway decent, at the very least, Mexican-inspired cuisine. You may not be getting fresh-made tamales, but, maybe you can get someone who buys some decent mole from Cisco or something. Cisco being a enterprise, I guess, commercial-level prepared foods vendor. So a lot of the restaurants in the U.S., it's SYSCO, not Cisco like the router company or the networking equipment company. I mean, to be fair, too, I live in Austin, and we have some bad Mexican and Tex-Mex food here as well. So, I mean, you can get bad versions of food anywhere. Mostly we have a lot of mediocre tacos. There's some good everything here, but there's also a lot of really mediocre taco joints. I think a lot of people are still impressed when you hand them a taco that's not ground beef. You marinate chicken in anything. You stew beef or pork in anything, and people are like, oh man, this is so like authentic. Oh, hey, we're playing video games today. Did you know that, guys? All right, here we go. Last match of the matchup. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Con X5 closing you out. We got SAS versus Mesa. SAS, 4 points on the board. Slay versus Last going to determine that 5th and final point. SAS trying to go perfect into the final week. Haven't dropped a point yet. We just saw a third match tiebreaker, though. Toxic pushing Reeve to the last map. Ooh, Slay up close in Last's face, taking the early kill, or taking the early lead with that kill. And this is a map where Flak, we actually didn't really see it last map because of the playstyles. Flak can be huge. This is probably the duel map I can't imagine a duel map that we play where flat can be more important. There's just so many ways to ambush your opponent. And look at Slay soaking up those vials, already up to 165 health on top of that 100 armor. We already saw that last map, how critical that can be to basically double your health on top of your armor. It just makes you such a tanky target. Oh, the easy shot by Slay, not wanting to give himself up. You see only 2 health for Last, and he misses the shot, and Last somehow steals that shield belt and gets the headshot. Last just flipped the planet upside down on Slay, somehow pushed him away from belt, got the headshot kill, and tied it up with 2 HP. So here we go, we're all tied up. That was a huge turnaround by Last with that play, using Slay's sort of methodical, careful playstyle against him. What can he do with it now? Slay back up to 135 HP just like that. And Slay is just so good. It's like he's a magnet. And, you know, in Sonic the Hedgehog, you get the magnet power up where the rings just fly over to you. I feel like Slay just walks near health vials and they just fly into his hands. Already back up to 140 HP. Of course, ooh, on top of that 100 armor. And this time he knocks Last off of that belt. Last not really going to be able to challenge it. Guesses wrong. Slay guesses right. Eats him up with that combo and back in the lead. So you got Shock coming out. Nothing really landing. Last. Only 45 armor, gonna try to push up to the 100, and he takes it. And the rockets, this time dropping right down on Slay. And again, Last, with the hard challenge on the armor, comes up big. He's been winning the close range battles. Headshot aside, when he can force a brawl up close, one-on-one with Slay, he's been winning. Problem is, Slay, of course, is so smart and is moving around the map so well. He's been able to avoid him in another headshot. This time, oh, and he misses the follow-up rocket, but Slay's running around with 25 HP. Can Slay this time grab a shield belt? Oh, and he gets the fadeaway flak. Will Slay go back up for the belt? He does with 25 HP. Slay fights him off of the belt and grabs it. We saw Last do the same thing with 2 HP for his side, but he gets pushed off of the 100, and the answer back and forth. These two are just a pendulum swinging. We'll see who can actually maintain some momentum. Yeah, physics metaphors, we got him. And Last right now, if he can hit one rocket, it's one shot from taking the lead, but down to 75 health. Decides to bug out our sound. Appreciate that, Last. Everyone in Twitch chat loves you. And he's got him on the run. Has a chance with the flak if he can land one shot. Slay's got the link on him. Slay has him down to 37, and he's going to be aggressive. Ooh, he decides to peek the other way. I don't know why Last didn't have the shock rifle out in that situation. Goes up top. Dangerous. Slay doubled back, had the easy shot with the sniper rifle rather. Somehow missed it. Belt goes to Last. That's the easiest belt we've actually seen anyone grab, I think. Slay looking for the 100 armor, but it's delayed, and this could be a problem for him. He's gonna get pushed off. He doubles back and takes out Last with a snipe. Big shot by Slay. Earns him a kill in the 100 armor, and now he's got the lead. He's gonna be aggressive. Last answering back with some shock of his own, but he goes down, and it finally someone establishing some amount of a lead. This time 2 frags. You still got 30 seconds till the belt spawns, and this is going to be an opportunity now for Slay to run the entire map, scoop up every resource. Expect to see him grab a ton of vials. He might even give up the 100 armor here just to scoop up all the weapons. We missed the jump, but he will still get to that shock rifle first, and that'll allow him to blast Last right off it. And the follow-up, Last down to 12 HP, should be another kill here. There it is, and Slay now is settled in, and this could be the beginning of him closing out this match. We'll see what Last can do. He might need another headshot here if he wants to try to shoot his way back into it. Last with a nice combo underneath, but down to 35 HP. Slay doesn't have to be too afraid here. And as always, Slay just drawn to those vials. Never under 100 HP, it feels like. Only 36 armor, though. So Last with one big shot. Gets in his face with flak. A little bit of damage, but unfortunately for him, Slay just shock takes him in, tapes him into the corner. Juggles him. Gets the kill. And there's the killing spree off that combo off the spawn. And I think that may be the kill that seals the deal. Last is completely reset. Slay can just run the map at this point. Down to 4 minutes to go. There's still time, but Slay now can do basically whatever he wants. He can be aggressive. He can be passive. He's got shield belt under control here. That Last kind of running at him off the spawn, and I think that's going to do it. So an exciting beginning to this game, back and forth, but Slay settling in here I think is going to lock this one up. And you can see by Slay, not a lot of aggression coming out. Knows he has a huge lead and time is running low. All he's got to do is throw some combos towards Last. Pretty much guaranteed himself. Is that another headshot by Last? I couldn't tell. I wasn't quite watching, but Last right now. 60% accuracy with the sniper rifle. I feel like half of those have been headshots. Ooh, the combo by Slay. Gets the combo, takes damage, but then grabs the 100 armor right afterwards. That'll put him up to 9 frags. And with 2 minutes to go, that's going to be, I think, insurmountable. We'll close this one out, though, and bring in map 2 off a Rampage. So SAS going to be one map away, and there's a headshot by Slay to answer back. There's been so many headshots this game. For a Leah match, there's been an absurd amount of headshots. But as we said, 5th and final point on the board, or let's just say on the table, to be on the board for SAS. They can win one more map here. Last trying to force another map 3. We did see that in duel number 1. Mesa's still unable. Oh, and the mid-air rocket through the floor. Slay just settling in now, feeling the rhythm, feeling the rhyme. Ooh. Last answers back, but it is still bobsled time for Slay with a minute to go. Oh, I like that little jump by Last right over the snipe, but in the end, Slay able to chase him down, puts it up to 15 points, because why not? And Slay just maintaining his momentum. And Last finally gets a kill, but kills himself in the process, so. So kind of a mad scramble in the end here, but map 2 will be coming up in 30 seconds. So map 1 down. I mean, it was an exciting, the first 5 minutes or so of this match was as crazy as I think any duel we've had so far. It was really entertaining. Slay trying to run his methodical kind of, you know, under control play style, trying to run the map. Last just absolutely shooting his way back into it. We saw some really gutsy takes of the belt for both sides. 2 HP grab of the belt by Last, and then the headshot Slay did the same thing with 25 and a rocket later on, so. And in the end, though, Slay able to take control and run with it from there. We do have a switch over to the London hub, so we'll switch servers and bring in map 2 coming up. All right, game is up, jumping in, and we should be closing out on this one, I believe. So either way, 2 or 3 maps, or 1 or 2 maps on this one. And that will close out the first match of the day. Remember, we do have one more match coming up after this one. I believe it's All-Stars versus MOW, if I'm not mistaken. But here we go. Players already ready. We are on a race. All right, players already. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. Back in action with Slay versus Last. Map 1 was wild, but Slay ended up finally locking down control. Ooh, early big kill with that combo in mid-air. Fortunately for Last, respawning right in front of him. Rocket's going to bounce him up. And you saw that. Slay already back up to 123 HP in like 5 seconds. He just somehow he's like Pac-Man, just constantly gobbling up those health files. Last was able to shoot his way back into the last game with some really gutsy shots. We'll see if he can do it this time. A sniper shot there might have done it. Couldn't quite hit. Slade looking for health. It's not there. If Last knows where he is, he could be aggressive. Belts up in 12 seconds. So you figure Last knows he's going to be heading in that direction. Maybe heard him grab that health. The 100 armor's up in 5 seconds. It looks like Last maybe is happy to grab that. Saw Slay throw a shot over there, just kind of guessing where he might come from. Free belt for Slay, but 300 for Last. And Last looking to neutralize that power-up advantage. Doesn't quite hit. Ooh, there's the shot he wanted. And another one. Last, again, shooting his way back into it. They're toe-to-toe right now with hit scan, and the combo by Last ties it. And he can be aggressive here, looking for the spawn kill. He knew where he spawned, had to guess where he was going. Probably didn't guess that Slay was going to be aggressive like that, though. Takes him out with a stinger, and that's a smart play. Early on in the game, he knew his opponent wouldn't have any health. I wouldn't have any extra armor, certainly. Last, though, grabs that 100 armor. Going to be looking for weapons now, as we don't have any major pickup spawning for about 20 more seconds. We'll have another belt and armor. So the 100 and the belt still pretty much in sync. Look at that. 18 damage differential right now. Might have been 28. In any case, very close. Slay, though, stands in there, wins that hit scan battle. Last trying to answer back with the Enforcer. Unfortunately for him, both players seem to have lost track of that belt. So Slay's going to circle around, be perfectly happy to scoop it up and lock him down in that 100 armor corner. Such a tough spot to get out of. Slay knew that. Control of that shock rifle. That seems to be his only real emphasis, honestly. Slay doesn't seem to be using hardly any weapons except the shock. It's basically the only weapon he's controlling. So Last may be able to do some work with that sniper rifle. I don't think he's going to be able to count on having a whole lot of shock rifle pickups in this game. Last does sneak around and scoop up that 100 armor. We have 15 seconds to the belt, so Last can challenge this belt now. He's got weapons, he's got some armor. Ooh, taking some early shots, and another one. Slay on fire right now with that shock rifle. Only shooting 20%, but I mean, he's already shot 75 shock shots, so You can see a very simple strategy by Slay. 100 armor did get delayed. He'll be able to challenge it. Last is going to get it, but he'll be tied into that corner again, and this time he hits the shot to defend himself. Up close range. That's actually a bit of a interesting decision by Slay, going for close range shot when Last had rockets out. He ends up working out for him, but dangerous decision. I'm actually really surprised Last didn't go at him with some rockets there, but it works out for Slay, approaching the halfway point and already up by 4. Nice wall run there by Slay. We see a lot of players drop that run. Flak ambush by Last does do some damage. Hits him with a sniper shot, but Slay was so stacked. Still up to 85 over 7. And there's the killing spree with the combo. You got Belt up in 2 seconds. Last might steal it, and he does. And he might even be able to get a kill here with that Enforcer. And he does, so Last. Quick turnaround there. Has Shock Rifle in his hand now. Catches him off the spawn. Runs out of ammo, though. So, crucially, though, halfway through the game, Last finally has control of that Shock Rifle. If nothing else, he'll be able to keep it out of Slay's hands. It's been almost exclusively his weapon of choice. Oh, he had a combo lined up. Didn't complete it. We still have 10 seconds till the 100 armor spawns, so this is the opportunity that Last has to really chase him down. Force the issue. Oh, Slay doubles back and hits him with the double snipe and takes him out. Slay was dead to rights right there. Last should have had a kill and an opportunity to go on a run of his own, but instead, Slay dives over his head, gets 2 snipes in a row, takes him out. Last answers back with a beautiful combo. And this is starting to look like the beginning of Leah again. Back and forth, these two going at it. When Last can bait Slay into fighting him on even terms, he can often win those one-on-one fights. We see the nice prediction there. And was that the first belt? It's the second belt Last has had this game. So Slay now in an unfamiliar position of having the health and armor disadvantage against Last. Last about to run out of ammo, though, and all he has is a backup weapon, his goo. That's going to be a problem. He's got shock ammo behind him. He goes for the goo ambush. Interesting play here by Last. Goes for the goo ambush, and then the rocket launcher underneath the 100 armor. I thought he would back up and go for the shock ammo up top instead. Not much coming out of that push. He ends up rocketing himself in the face, actually. So 100 armor for Slay. You still have 12 seconds to the belt. Oh, big flat ambush opportunity. Last only got about 56 damage out of it. That could have been huge. It hit a full damage shot there. Belt up in 3 seconds. Slay's actually going to challenge the 100. Last, if he knew what time the belt was up, he could have snuck around and grabbed it. It looks like he has no idea that it was up right there. He went for the 100 instead. There's the belt. He could have grabbed that belt without giving up a kill, but instead, he's going to be facing him off the spawn, and just like that, that belt is melted. Nice retaliation damage with that flak, but Slay's just going to back up, grab health, and get in position for this 100 armor, which spawns in 5 seconds. And with that high ground, he can push him right off it. So at this point, 3 minutes to go. Slay gonna probably be playing pretty, we'll just say he'll pick his spots. No real reason for him to force the issue. Nice double vault up top there. He made it look really easy and smooth. That's a really easy set of jumps to screw up, though, and you can really cost yourself some time if you miss that. You don't see a lot of folks doing that one. Ooh, rockets coming out, though. Last ambushes him and gets the kill with flak, down to 10 HP, but belt is up. Last, though, again, they're going to settle for the 100 armor and give Slay the belt. Nice flak up top. Slay, not a lot of weapons since he just respawned. Nice shock primary, but Last right now having trouble closing the gap and getting that kill. Only 45 damage. He may go down here, and Slay takes him out with the Enforcer. And there's been a couple opportunities like that where Slay was in trouble. Last likely should have gotten a kill there and just couldn't finish it off. There's one snipe by Last, another snipe by Last. This could be an opportunity here if we could get one more shot on him. Could have pulled out the Enforcer. Kind of surprised he didn't. We have 5 seconds till belt, 7 seconds till 100. And that kill right there, I think, is going to seal the deal. Slay actually damages himself a little bit with flak, but all in all, a pretty good challenge by Last here. You see him taking him out with another combo, taking it down to a 5-frag lead. There's been a bunch of 50-50 fights in this match. And again, catches him in mid-air. Oh, with the Enforcer, another Enforcer kill by Slay. And I think more than anything, what I'm seeing in this match is that when Slay isn't allowed to either just run the map, like we're used to seeing Slay have the advantage in every scenario, right? We're used to seeing him in full control of the map. He's typically either being hyper aggressive with double the health and armor, or if he doesn't have the advantage, he's just playing super methodical and just waiting until he has the advantage, running the map. Last forced the issue this game. He made him a little bit uncomfortable, forced him into some fights he maybe didn't decide that he wanted to take, but Slay still came up big in those. So when Slay was challenged here, still coming up with the shots and largely the positioning too. I'm noticing definitely a big positional advantage in a lot of these fights, but in the end, that's going to do it. 20 seconds to go. Slay, again, running away with it in the end. Still only about a 600 damage difference. But much like map 1, got real crazy there. He jumped out into a lead, and in the middle of this map, was back and forth, got a little wild. Thought Last maybe had a chance to fight his way back in. And we're going to finish off with the splattery piston kill. But in the end, SAS going to remain perfect. Go into the final week of the season untouched. Mesa, a couple of opportunities there, but not quite able to get over the hump and get any points on the board. We'll take a quick look at the standings here. And you can see Mesa Gaming currently in third. Going to stay there with 22 points, 1 point ahead of SOW. Remember, Mesa and SOW played a couple of weeks ago, and Mesa took 3 points to SOW's 2. Keep that in mind as we finish this season off. SAS going to have 5 more points on the board. Nobody's going to